The Clone Trooper Grand Army of the Republic has landed the 327 Star Corps onto planet Felucia. The Battle Droid Army has set up ambush units across the forest that leads up the hill to their massive military base structured with artillery, turrets, and droid infantry ready to protect it. But if the Clone Trooper forces can make it through all of that, then the Republic will have an amazing foothold on the planet, and the rest of the invasion could go swiftly from there. So if you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe with notifications turned on, and comment down below what other battles should I do in the Gates of Hell Star Wars Galaxy at War mod. Now let's get into it. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2, all of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. Alrighty then, gamers, let's go in slow-mo here and press start for the beginning of the battle, and the Clone Troopers begin to march forward and open fire as the initial ambushers over here are in fact discovered by the Clone Trooper forces. There's some AATs as well as experimental weapons for the droids, which is pretty cool. Like this thing right here is like a mini scout car AAT type dealio. It's kind of interesting. The Galaxy at War developers have certainly gotten more and more creative with their vehicles, because I don't think that's an actual Star Wars lore accurate vehicle, but let me know in the comment section below. Maybe I've just never seen it before, but it certainly is pretty funny to look at. It's a pretty sweet one. So the clones just absolutely open up, tearing into the droids. They're taking some losses themselves, nothing too horrific. It is important that the Clone Troopers manage to survive for as long as they possibly can during this battle. They need as many troopers as possible, because the droids have such a long defense here. This is definitely going to be a war of attrition here against the Battle Droid Army as the clones move through the jungle here, because the droids, they've got choke point after choke point that they can utilize, ambush point after ambush point. It is truly a deadly planet for the Clone Troopers to be on. It looks like a little explosive fire right there. Rock that Clone Trooper, sending him off of his feet. Absolutely brutal. More clones in the back here pushing forward though to replace him, which is good to see. It looks like the small scout car there ended up getting decrewed or destroyed, not totally sure which, but more droids are sort of advancing and retreating as they see fit. These are free roaming droids, so they're pretty much able to do whatever they please on the battlefield. You know, if they feel like they are under threat, they can retreat back. If they feel like they're getting the advantage, they'll advance forward. And of course, this is Gates of Hell, so it's a little bit more accurate than Men of War Assault Squad 2. I'm not going to say a lot more, but I will say I think in general the AI is a smidge smarter than in Men of War Assault Squad 2. For sure, it looks a lot more realistic than Men of War Assault Squad 2, which is very fun. This AAT over here is giving the clones a lot of trouble. That's definitely one qualm I have with the Galaxy at War mod for Gates of Hell, is that the TX-130s are no match for the AATs, and they've yet to release an ATTE for the game, and so therefore there's no real matchup against the AATs. It makes the droids very powerful in that regard. As we can see here, I mean, this thing is just beating up the clones left and right. Still alive. It has 20 infantry kills and a tank kill. That is just some brutality right there against the Clone Troopers in this little valley over here. Now, there's more clones off to the side this way, and it looks like they are taking on some droids that are among the leaves here. They are the forest droids. There you go. We finally scrapped him. That took you guys long enough. Jeez Louise. And more droids up here. It's just sort of like ambush positions for the battle droids against the Clone Troopers. It definitely gets a little bit derpy within the Felucia trees here, because I think the AI has a little bit of trouble seeing through them and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see this kind of combat out here. Another clone getting shot up by a droid right over this way. Very close quarters, very derpy combat right there. Yeah, we live in the life here, boys. Absolutely. But down middle is where the real fight is going on, and it is not going well for the Clone Troopers in the slightest. The AAT here is still alive even after getting hit countless times by clone trooper rockets and TX-130 fire, this thing is still managing to fire out at the clones. Actually, is the fire just going through it? Hold on, let's check. No, well, that, like, reflected off. But that shot went straight through the droid. What is happening here? Yeah, a lot of the clone fire is just going through it. Crew shocked. At least there's that happening right there. But can these things even take out the AAT? I swear, the AATs are, like, way too powerful. This thing got decrewed. I'm going to recrew it and just test out to see if the AAT can even be killed. Because if it can't, that would be hugely disappointing here. Alright, so let's see. Come on, just recrew this real quick. Come on. Okay, there we go. Let's go into missiles and semi-charge this thing to see if the clone tanks are on their own capable of even killing this thing. Fire. Okay. Doesn't help that the stuff is super inaccurate, but there we go. There's some hits onto it. And it is still kicking. So what if we go onto the main gun here? There we go, it is down. Okay, so clone tanks can take out the AATs. I was curious because that AAT had literal lasers going straight through it and had killed multiple clone tanks as well as just slaughtered hundreds of clone troopers right off the rip in the first 5 minutes of this battle here. So we needed to make sure that the clones weren't going into this thing with literally no capability of destroying an AAT. But it looks like they actually are able to destroy the AAT, which is extremely good. Okay, well, the clones will proceed forward through the woods here, and we will see how they go. This is really just the very initial portion of this battle. We've got a mortar back here. We've got an AAT back this way. Actually, a second mortar with it. Luckily, the clones do have bazooka troopers, so hopefully they can get forward with those and take out this AAT. The AAT actually kills its own troopers right there on the mortar, but it takes out some of the clones as well. Actually, the troopers, since it was friendly fire, didn't take as much damage as they needed to actually die, so the clones come through and kill them. And there we go. They do pop the AAT eventually, which is very good. This kind of jungle warfare is very difficult to get through. Add tanks to the mix, and it becomes next to impossible, especially if there's troopers guarding those tanks. Tanks on their own in the forest, very easy to take out. You can flank them, you can do all sorts of things. But if the droids around it are protecting it, it becomes even more hard to take it out. It becomes a big problem. This big, I think it's called a hag tank. Is that what it's called? I can't remember. But it's basically the droid artillery tank. Is just spamming fire out here. It's getting shot up. All of the rounds from the clone trooper tanks seem to be bouncing off of it. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying that Star Wars Galaxy at War Gates of Hell tanks are just absolute garbage for the Republic. It's really not fair. Alright, but they're proceeding through the woods here. It looks like some grenades going out. Oh my god, it is just chaos over here. This is the Clone Wars Vietnam, baby. Well, I suppose that was more like Umbara would be like the Clone Wars Vietnam, but Felucia's right up there, man. Maybe Felucia is the Korean War. I don't know. It's brutal nonetheless. Jungle warfare in any war tends to be just god-awful for all participants involved. It is not a very fun time. Speaking of not a very fun time, I have been having the worst few days of my life. There are these dogs that live outside my building, and yesterday I was walking Scout, and one of those dogs, they never keep them in their yard, and sadly one of those dogs got hit by a car, and so I tried to help, but I was unable, and so that was like one of the most tragic moments I've ever had in my life. So that was brutal, and then someone hit my car as well when Zelda and we went roller skating as a date. We were driving home, someone hit my car, and so now there's damage to my Subaru. So yeah, I'm having a fantastic week. Also, one of my favorite collectible card games, MetaZoo, which I've been collecting since the Kickstarter. I don't really play it much, but I just really liked the idea of cryptids that I'd heard tales of, you know, throughout my childhood being made into a card game. Well, it turns out that the people that launched that were scammers, and they've shut down the entire card game, so now all of my card collection is valueless, so I'm probably going to sell off most of that, except for the cards that actually mean something to me, which is pretty much just the cards I really like, the cryptids that actually mean something to me, and I remember hearing tales of as a kid and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been a pretty rough week. it's been a pretty rough week, and I had to vent for a second, fellas. Just, you know, I don't know, man. Does everyone have really god-awful weeks like this every once in a while? Because that is what is happening to me. All right, either way, the 327th is pushing forward here. They've come to this archway, and the TXs are derping, to say the very least. They are struggling. This thing actually came forward. This was in the way back. I don't even know what this is. It is a heavy armored missile launcher, a Hamel. And, oh, there it goes, launching them missiles. Okay. Seems to launch just like one at a time. It's not like a Katusha or anything like that. It seems to be a bit more tame than that, but nevertheless, it is launching missiles, and it does not seem to be dying super easily to the TX-130 fire that's coming into it. I think we might need a rocket launcher clone to get up here and actually manage to do something against this thing. Let's go into full speed here. I usually try and stay away from full speed for parts of battles, especially when we have a lot of troopers on the battlefield, because it just lags it quite a bit. But I think we're actually in a good place now where it's not going to be too shabby. Oh! Wow, that one clone trooper got rocked by a missile right there, didn't he? And I'm noticing there's all these little pesky droids all throughout the woods. Oh, there's a mortar right there. Who keep popping up whenever the clones make any sort of advancements. Oh, that explosion hit the droid, but it must have been a droid shot because it didn't do any damage to it, so I'm a little confused by that. This is definitely dead up here, but this is just still going. Someone's gotta take this thing out, or else the clone army is about to get wiped out single-handedly by it. It's a duel of two derps right now. Oh, it's only got 14 kills. That's not that impressive. Yeah, it's a duel of two derps. The TX, which is doing nothing to it, and this thing, which is doing nothing to the TX. So that's very impressive, I suppose. Just the fact that they're able to do so little and accomplish really nothing. I don't know why sporadically these clone troopers are just full yeeting in. They're just going for the full send. Boys, stop. Just stop. You're in droid lines. Fight the droids. Oh, this guy took out a grenade. Hey, he's doing something. He just needed to stop being an idiot. What do you know? Oh, and he's dead. Okay, well, good for him. Oh, yeah, here we go. Now we got some clone infantry in the mix. There's another one of those artillery droid tanks over that way, which is having a field day firing into these clone troopers. Rockets hitting the clone troopers. These guys cannot catch a break. Talk about not being able to catch a break, man. That is brutality. More of those missiles striking out against the TXs actually pops that TX top. Oh, but it closed back up. Is it alive or dead? Nah, it's dead now. Rip potato chip to the boy. Okay, we still got tons of clone troopers back here. What we really need, though, is clone rocket launchers to get up here. Okay, here's one. Yeah, keep firing. Fire into that puppy, okay? We need to see this thing going down. There, nice shot, nice shot. Clipped its front. Is that going to be enough to take it out? No. No, give it another shot. Give it some more fire, okay? We need this thing dead. And it seems like you just keep hitting the very front of its hull, which has this beefy panel right here, which seems like it prevents any sort of critical damage to strike the center of the hull, where the operators are, and probably where most of the actual parts of the ship that make the ship ship. So you need to hit the ship part, okay? That would be nice, but you are not good at that. So we'll see if that actually ends up happening. This seems like it's not gonna go super well for the clones at this point. They are oh! Wait, that might have done it. Oh, it did! Okay, droids pop out. They finally kill this thing. I knew you guys could do it. I knew you guys could do it. Now kill those droids real quick. That should not be a threat at all. Look at this officer clone up there. Come on, kill that droid. Kill that. What are you doing? What are you... Shoot that droid! Okay, there we go. They got him. Okay. But then there's this artillery piece over here, which is firing into the side of the clones as the clones attempt to push through the woods over this way. And they're making progress. They're killing some of these straggler droids. They've taken out the mortar here, taken out the scout car, and now they're pushing forward towards the military fortress up here, where actually a few clones have already attempted to go in and have been sliced down by, it looks like, these droids right here. Rip to them. But over here, we've got more free-roaming droids. More free-roaming droids there, too, who haven't been engaged. We've got a mortar here. It's only got 1 kill. There's a small base over here. This mortar has 2 kills. Small base here. And then there's this. Oh. Didn't kill it, but did some damage to it. This thing has 41 infantry kills. The clones definitely need to kill this thing. Oh my god, you whiffed that shot so bad. Oh, please don't die. Please get another shot. He died. Alright, look. This is your only mission. I'm assigning you a mission. You. Oh, he's already got a tank kill. You should be good at this. Come forward here. Are you stuck? He's stuck on the rocks. He's actually stuck on the rocks. Okay. Yep. Your only mission is to shoot this thing. And he did, but it's still alive apparently because it's still firing. Oh no, the droids pop out. There you go. Okay. Good stuff. Excellent. Way to go. Oh my god. Should I everyone who's on the rocks, I believe, is stuck on the rocks, so let's get them off the rocks. Yeah, get off the rock. No more crack rock. So get these guys off the rock. I did not mean to drag that out. You go back to where you were. Okay. Good stuff. The clones are depleted to extremely low levels at this point. They've got maybe 50 or 60 troopers left alive, I would say. Most of whom do have some veterancy to them. Like, I'm seeing a few troopers out here with like a tank kill, which gives them veterancy a lot faster. A couple of them have a couple infantry kills. But for the most part, they're not exactly veteran soldiers. And it looks like they're starting to waltz forward now here through the mud, trying to proceed forward. They've got resistance to their right up this way. I don't know how effective these guys are going to end up being. They don't seem to really be firing at the moment. I think the main concern really is the military base for the clones. Although taking out that mortar would be nice, it doesn't seem to be the most accurate thing. Mortars in Gates of Hell can be pretty effective, but most of the time, I hate to say it, they are not. So I would definitely focus on the infantry before the mortar in this regard. And it looks like they've actually killed a number of infantry troopers up here on the ledge, and only one over here, and it seems like most of the clones that try and go around here just get absolutely blasted. So that's not very good. No, sir. And now the clones are just waltzing through the forest. Yep. This, I mean, it looks very, very cool. It looks dope. But it's not going to get you to the front lines very quickly, you know? And there's droids running around up there. I guess maybe the clones just need a brief break, you know? Let's go in fast motion here. Let the clones proceed. Get on up there, boys. Make it happen. Alright, and they start to fire out. Alright, so I think they are going for the smaller fort over this way first. Oh, there was a mortar right there that they killed. Very nice. Good job, boys. Now they're proceeding out this way as some of these droids, these are free-roaming droids, begin to engage with some of the clones over this way. Okay. Whew, what a grueling battle for the clones thus far. They have taken some severe losses and not had a very good time. Just constant explosions. I'd be shocked if any of the clone troopers are coming out of this thing without a concussion, because they most definitely do all have concussions. Speaking of concussions, who are you guys gonna root for the Super Bowl? I was honestly rooting for the Ravens. So now that they're out of it, I don't really care too much about the Chiefs or 49ers. Zelda's family is from Kansas City. But I don't really feel too strongly about like, woohoo, Kansas City. I also really don't care much about the 49ers. So, yeah. I was born and raised in Boston for 22 years, so I'm a Patriots fan, true and true. But I think I'm going to root for the 49ers just because I'm getting sick of all the GOAT talk for Patrick Mahomes. It's just like, you know, Brady's got 7 rings. You can't even come close to doing the GOAT talk until Patrick Mahomes comes anywhere near that. So yeah, I'm just getting annoyed with that, and I'm like, okay, let's shut it down here. Time to take an L, Kansas City. So yeah, I think I'm rooting for the 49ers, but all in all, I really don't care too much about this Super Bowl. But let me know if you guys are super passionate about it, because I think that's cool, man. I think, we've all got our teams, so every Super Bowl is not going to be for everyone, but if your team is involved, or if you at least decently enjoy a team, then it's pretty fun. Alright, now, these droids are engaging with these clones, and actually, the fact that the clones had to divert over that way to hit those droids, and now move up this way to hit these droids, is actually really good for them, because otherwise they would just round this corner really tightly and get shot down by droids. Now, they have to engage with these guys, which is going to draw them further out, and allow them a little bit more response time to the guys on the corner when it comes to that, which is good. And hopefully it does come to that, because right now these droids are just getting a plethora of kills on these clones. The clones aren't really doing any damage to them, and in fact, they're still getting distracted by droids over this way. Okay, there you go. They finally killed that droid right there. Is this really all the clones we got left? Okay, if you look at the mini-map, red are clones left alive, blue are droids left alive. The clones are seriously down on their luck, and they've actually got positions all throughout here still alive. The clones have not even taken these guys out. Okay, so any clone that has not come forward, we'll send up this way, okay? We're gonna send them up this way. Any staggerers, head up here and start working on that fort back this way. And then all the rest of y'alls are going to... Oh no! No! No, it crashed! What the heck? The Clone Trooper army has paused their assault on the fortress. They've regathered with more infantry troopers. However, the droids have also regathered and retreated their soldiers. So now the droids have double the amount of troopers in their military base, but the clones have double the amount of troopers assaulting said military base. It's infantry only here. So let's go ahead and press start. This is obviously because the game crashed. God diggity dang it. I really hate when that happens. And usually Gates of Hell is actually a little bit more stable than Men of War. Well, that's not true. It can have some bad crashes, but I feel like sometimes it is more stable than Men of War, so there's that. But either way, I tried to recreate the ending of the battle here as best I could by making it sort of fair for both sides, bolstering both sides' lines, giving both sides more troopers than what they had, because some retreat, some you know, regroup, maybe some more reinforcements, stuff like that. So yeah, trying to just sort of do right by both sides here. Both sides taking incredible losses right off the bat here. Clones dropping maybe 40 troopers of their own already, and the droids losing tens of troopers at the very start here. This is definitely a very bombastic and deadly start to this well, second part of the battle here, and so both sides not doing too great. Lots of explosions hitting. Those might be from the mortars still inside the droid walls, or they might be from clone grenades or something along those lines. Let's bump it up a speed here, and this is now normal speed. Yeah, there's lots of explosions rocking pretty much everyone. Not a good look. The clones are getting more small arms fire out, but the droids seem to be getting a lot more mortar fire out, so it's a bit of a trade-off right there. More clone reinforcements should be coming up from the bottom down this way, but for now, it's these troopers right here just constantly getting bombarded by droid arty fire right there. Some more grenades seeping through over this way, which is very nice. Love to see those grenades hitting right there. Very nice. Oh! Yes, son. Okay, absolutely beautiful. We got more troops on top of these ramparts here. These guys, oh, nice clone grenades. Oh, yeah. Oh, the clones are completely surrounding the fort here and just tossing grenades in. I was gonna say these droids here could easily grenade down below, but it seems like the clones were just a little bit smarter at that point. It's fine though, the droids, again, continuing to have crazy mortar shots, shelling these clone troopers relentlessly here and just taking them down a notch. Absolutely brutal. Now the clones seem more hesitant to assault, which is not a good thing. They were actually making really good progress, killing a lot of the droid defenses, but now the droids are going to get a little bit cockier and push out, which might be a good thing for the clones, actually. They might result in some easier kills. But overall, I will say, I think the clones are going to struggle a little bit more here going forward, and it could be a little bit more rough if they aren't pressuring the droids wholeheartedly. There are a lot of clones over this way, hugging those walls, trying to save themselves from some mortar fire, but that's not exactly going to work, I don't think. Oh man, lots of these clones just backing up now. They're now afraid to assault, it seems. Oh, it's just a yikes all around, boys. This is not good for the clone troopers. But I think that's realistic on what was happening in the battle. I think the droids were completely going to shut down the clones at the fortress itself. So this is pretty representative of where we were when we ended the last battle due to a crash. Oh! What caused that? Was that a droid mortar shot? You got to be a little more careful there, droids. Hitting your own troopers. Dear God. Okay. Well, they are continuing to hit their own troopers. I think those guys can get back up, unless mortar fire or friendly fire might work differently in Gates of Hell than it does in Men of Warsaw Squad 2, because typically in Men of Warsaw Squad 2, if you friendly fire your own troopers, it does like a fraction of the damage, but the Gates of Hell is a little bit more unforgiving, I have found. So it might be a little bit more brutal here. I don't know. All right, why don't we go ahead and time-lapse here for a little bit, because I think this is going to last quite a while. Alright, boys, well, the droids are just holding on there, and the clones are barely attacking. There's like a squad and a half of clones left, so let's just send them on in here and force them to partake in the battle. So, final clone assault going on. It's actually mainly rocket troopers. They do tend to be the last to assault, and they pretty much get gunned down right there. Yeah, the clones... not very capable of an armed force at this point. Definitely taking a pretty fat L here against the defenders. Defender advantage definitely took over during this battle. I'm sorry that the original battle didn't work out, but I think this was a pretty nice representation of what probably would have happened just with more units. The clones obviously taking incredible losses, and the droids taking some pretty bad losses themselves, but overall just defending here, managing to do a whole lot. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.